What's good, Wet Wet's wig cap? It's me, Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade Joseline's Cabaret New York Season 4 Episode 6 review. So we pick up where we left off last week with Wet Wet and T Love brawling, honey. And at this point, they're separated. What's her name? Wet wig has been pulled off, so she just has her wig cap on, but her wig cap was pulled back too. So her wig cap is flat back like this with her real hair hanging out. She walking around looking like a number 2 pencil with implants on her chest, talking about round 2 or whatever she was saying, clapping and singing, just doing what Wet does, just acting a buffoon. So, T-Love wasn't done. She wanted another round. So they bang again. And this time she got the best of Wet and, was popping her in the head or whatever. But the hits wasn't really hitting on much. But I still say she got the upper hand and she won that second round. So for whatever reason, she wanted to go again after that, because Wet round 2 was like, come on, let's get with it, da-da-da-da-da. And so, like I said, she so-called won round 2. Then she raced out of the security's hand and ran over on Wet. But Wet, y'all, this, you could say what you want to say about Wet, but this move was iconic. This will go down in reality show history. This lady, you know how they have beams in the basement? This lady swung around the beam like she was on a stripper pole and kicked T-Love. Now it didn't make as much contact, but she still tapped her enough. T-Love then dodged back around security and went to attack her again, and Wet swung around the beam again, and this time kicked her dead in the stomach. And T-Love ends up falling. Now she said she fell because the floors was wet, and Jocelyn later on in the episode did say that the floors was wet or whatever, but the way you got kicked in your stomach, you was falling anyway. She ends up falling on her back. Wet ends up getting on top of her, binking her in the face, binking, and security breaks it up. So now T-Love really mad. She really mad and want another round because now Wet then got the best of her like twice. But all 3 of the rounds was lame as I don't know what. So Egypt in her confessional says, I ain't gonna lie, Wet kind of got the best of T-Love, but she did slip on the ground because Wet can't fight. And at this point, it's looking like you can't fight either. And I was like, you got that right. And even Jocelyn was like, girl, you steady talking about so you want to fight her again. You going to be fighting her all night when you barely hit her the first time. So she all up in Jocelyn's face talking about some on gang, on Pyru and on schoolyard crip. That she going to fight her again until she bleed. And Jocelyn in her confession talks about, why is you in my face throwing up gang signs? What gang is you a part of when you can't even fight? Thomas, they need to let you go. They don't even need to jump you out. They just need to let you go. Child. So Daisy goes and runs outside while T-Love is outside with one of the security guards. They separating her from Wet. So she goes outside and tells her that Miss Egypt was telling Jocelyn that T-Love had been bullying Wet all day. And Egypt comes outside and was like, yeah, I said it because that's how I felt. Now, T-Love was disagreeing, saying I wasn't bullying her. I was just telling her, no, girl, you was antagonizing that girl. Like, your opinions were not necessary. You didn't have to say all the stuff that you said to that girl. Like, you want to tell everybody else that they need to keep their mouth shut and mind their business, but you doing too much and speaking on everybody else. And I like the fact that Egypt did not back down with what she said. Like, she said what she said. So they end up going back inside because T-Love don't want to be bothered. And Egypt and now Daisy are arguing about the fact that she ran back and told T-Love that. And Egypt was like, you thought I wasn't going to repeat it? Like, you thought I was going to be a punk? Like, that's what you thought. So they going back and forth, arguing. And she was like, put your hands down. And Daisy was like, I can talk with my hands. I can do what I want. Next thing you know, Egypt take off on Daisy and they get the banging. And she just binking her in the head. Binking. Now, mind you, she got a ring on one of her fingers. It was just like a regular, like, band. It didn't have, like, no, like, straight, like, stud or a diamond on it. But that ring is what gashed that girl eyebrow. So next thing you know, Daisy just got blood gushing down her face. And her eyebrow had a gash in it. And in the fight, though, she ended up grabbing Miss Egypt's wig and pulling it off, and we soon find that she's bald like how I be bald, but except her sides was all ate out. Now later on she tells Jocelyn that she has alopecia. Okay. So Daisy trying to bang again, and Jocelyn just like, girl, stop. just stop. So they want her to go to the hospital because her face looked bad, and she steady talking about so she want a round two. Girl, she didn't already knocked you into 2024. Just be quiet and be cute. You would have thought that Daisy would have learned her lesson after season 1 when Jocelyn knocked up upside the head. Like, you can't fight. Just be the pretty girl. Stop trying to be messy. Like, girl, just stop. Because that girl done beat you down to the ground. So Daisy ends up going to the hospital. Jocelyn and the girls are steady rehearsing, trying to get ready for this performance because they got to leave literally the next day to go to Miami. Jocelyn gets on her choreographer, Ricardo, for trying to tell her what to do. And he surprisingly was like, okay, Jocelyn. All right, Jocelyn. My bad. Okay. Maybe because he know how she is and it's just best to be like, okay, my bad or whatever. But girl, who you talking to? Like, who are you talking to, Miss Mamas? Because it ain't that damn important for me to be sitting up here teaching these girls this hokey pokey alamagoki that y'all trying to learn. Like, girl, bye. So, later on that night, T-Love goes to Egypt's room, and Egypt tells T-Love that Daisy hadn't even been talking to them up until she went outside to tell her what she said. And so I was like, oh, so she really was on some messy type stuff trying to start things. Jocelyn kindly shows Natural some love because, you know, she took into consideration that the girl had been dancing her ass off all day and, you know, had been leading the girls, wasn't complaining or anything. And it really touched Natural because you could tell she really wants Jocelyn's approval, which I don't understand why. But Jocelyn hugged her and Natural started all that crying crap that she do. And I'm just like, girl, okay, she gonna be calling you a $2 hoe in a minute, but all right. So before Jocelyn leaves for the night, she goes and talks to some of the girls. So she talks to Egypt first, and she tells Egypt that Daisy's cool. She was like, maybe, you know, I feel that way because I've known her for so long. I was there when she had, you know, gave birth to her child. She was like, but you're right. Daisy is messy. She is very messy. But she was basically trying to tell her, like, y'all can let bygones be bygones and y'all can end up being cool at the end of the day. And she tells her that she don't want her beating up no more girls because she bigger than them. And you can tell Jocelyn don't even want no smoke with Miss Mamas because she done met her match with that one. Jocelyn know who to start with and who not to start with, child. Because that would be an all-out brawl right there. That'll be like some Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson type of time. So she did tell her that she wants her and Daisy to talk. And I hope when Daisy returns to this house, she don't still be trying to fight this girl. Because, like, girl, we don't want to see you get beat up again. Jocelyn then goes and talks to T-Love one-on-one and tells her that she can make it, you know, to be in one of the other performances, and says that the reason why asks her what was the reason why she and Wet Wet fought, and she gives her side of the story. And Jocelyn was like, okay, I hear what you're saying, because yeah, Wet Wet do need to get her teeth fixed, her hair and stuff, her look done. And, you know, she can't dance. Like, everything that you're saying is valid. But if I was Jocelyn, I would have also told her, that's for me to tell her, not for not you. This isn't T Love's Cabaret. This is Jocelyn's Cabaret. So mind your business. But Jocelyn just kept on telling her how pretty she is and all of this and how much she like her hair. And I'm like, girl, Jocelyn trying to eat your vajayjay, okay? That's what's going on here. Then she goes and she calls Daisy on FaceTime to see how she is. She done got her face, you know, tended to by the doctors and everything. And then she gives Jocelyn her side of the story on what happened between her and Egypt, and says that she wants her lick back. Girl, just go to bed. I think she had a concussion. Like, 'cause that's what it gotta be. Jocelyn then talks to Lucky, and when Lucky walked in their room and the way Jocelyn was looking at her with that stank face, girl, I was hollering because she could not stand Lucky. So, Jocelyn was like, I feel like you're wishy-washy. And Lucky still acting dumb, like she don't know why she feels this way about her. Like, what? Like, okay. So Jocelyn says she's going to give her another chance, but if she feel like she, you know, trying to play her, do her wrong, or look at her the wrong way, she going to make her leave. Point blank interview, period. Jocelyn in her confession was like, I'm a forgiving person. I don't forget those bags, but I forgive her. Say what you want about Jocelyn. She could be a cokehead. She could be a bully, whatever. But that lady funny. That lady is funny. So Lucky asks her for a hug, and she gives her one, which I was like, okay, Jocelyn does have a heart sometimes. She then brings Wet Wet into the kitchen to talk to Wet Wet. Wet Wet coming there doing Wet Wet, climbing all up on the kitchen counter with socks on, almost slip and bust her head, almost slips and knocks Jocelyn purse on the ground. And Lord knows if she would have knocked that lady purse on the ground, she would have got hit in the head with it. And I'm like, girl, just sit down, please. Up here looking like that Cynthia doll. So Jocelyn asked, does she really think she can dance? Like, do you really think you could be a part of Cabaret? She was like, yeah, like, I'm learning to dance. I've been practicing. So Jocelyn tells her to do the routine. Jocelyn even does it with her. And lo and behold, the girl actually has been learning the routine. But Jocelyn couldn't help from laughing because, like, Wet Wet just looked like a lizard. Like, she ain't got no body, no butt. She just is a stick figure with boobs. Like, she's like shaped like the letter P. But Jocelyn was like, oh my gosh, she got it. Like, you could tell she was like low-key proud of her, because she said this, you know, Wet Wet does have a special place in her heart, because Wet Wet is funny at the end of the day. She's funny. She has some good viral moments. But all I could think of when I was sitting there watching her dance is that she looked like Gerald from Hey Arnold. Mamacita, mamarita, da 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 da. But Jocelyn tells this lady in order for her to perform with her, she has to get her teeth fixed. And I was like, Jocelyn, you know this girl ain't got no money to get her teeth fixed. How you think she gonna get her teeth fixed? Is Zeus gonna pay for it? Because this lady ain't got no money. That's wrong. She ain't got no money. Don't she still got like the braces on her teeth that she ain't been able to pull off? Like, Jocelyn, you gonna pay for her to get her teeth fixed? You know this lady ain't got no money. Stop. You being mean. That's evil. That ain't right now. Overall, though, I'm gonna give tonight's episode an A, because I have never seen somebody swing around the pole looking like a hawk. Oh! And kick somebody, not once, but twice. Reality television gold. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.